Now the Democrats are politicizing the coronavirus. You know that, right? Coronavirus. They're politicizing it. We did one of the great jobs. You say, how's President Trump doing? They go, oh, not good, not good. They have no clue. They don't have any clue. They can't even count their votes in Iowa. They can't even count. No, they can't. And this is their new hoax. But, you know, we did something that's been pretty amazing. We're 15 people in this massive country.
Hey, you guys, Kareem Jackson, you are live on the set, and I'm going to take you around the world with me. My dream as a minimalist CEO, turning my clients' dreams into reality is what I do, showing that success is truly for everyone. Hey, you guys, I've got new shows weekly. Stay tuned and live your best life.
Hey, you guys. Hello. You guys see the title there? You guys see what we're going to be talking about today? Data Privacy 101, you guys. You're here live on the set with Kareem Jackson, you guys. Minimalist CEO. We're here talking about what affects every single business owner, entrepreneur, professional, and even consumers, pretty much everyone in the Philippines right now, actually around the globe. We're talking specifically about the Philippines because right now they're implementing this law, kicking down in 2021, you guys. You got a break for about a year because of the coronavirus. So now they're going to be going and really implementing this data privacy protection. The Data Privacy Commission and all that good stuff is going to be going full-fledged when 2021 hits, I'm sure. They've been recruiting, they've been showcasing businesses, they've been showcasing what they need for data privacy officers for a while now. And so pretty soon, you guys, data privacy is going to be a big deal in the Philippines. So if you guys are here and you guys are doing this, I appreciate it. Hello, you guys. Love you. Good morning. If you're in the States right now, it's in the evening, because if you're doing business in the Philippines, or if you're in the Philippines, you guys have got to watch this. The new data privacy laws are not a bad thing, by the way, but they affect every single business in the Philippines country, and they affect anyone doing business in the Philippines country. And it's also just things that you might want to know if you're a Filipino doing business outside or online. You want to keep in mind and understand this as well. So you guys, Kareem Jackson, you are live on the set. I'm so glad that you're here. If you guys are just meeting me for the first time, I'm Kareem Jackson. I am the guy that helps woke entrepreneurs to minimalize their cluttered lifestyles and to outsource their business processes to make more profit, more money, and live the dream life they've always dreamed while they do it. And by the way, by woke entrepreneurs, we're talking about entrepreneurs that know that entrepreneurship is not all about bling bling and about getting to be a millionaire now, especially with coronavirus. Woke entrepreneurs, we know that it's about being free. It's about being able to survive. If there are 40 million people in America without jobs right now, not to mention the 100 million throughout the world, entrepreneurship is really big right now. And if you have a business and you got anything to do with data, that could be a salon, a doctor's office, anything, then you're going to want to watch this episode, because you have to, by law, know the awareness, have an awareness of data privacy. If you're taking anything, that means if you're a salon and you're taking names into the welcome desk, if you're a doctor's office, and obviously you're taking medical records and information, if you're an online seller and you're getting folks' homes and informations and Facebooks and phone numbers, or maybe even credit cards or payment information, you're going to want to actually know this as well, because if anything happens, and you need to have known this, because as an owner, you are responsible. And by default, your staff also have to know an awareness, because when they're taking data, they have to know what that data is. And that goes for cameras in your business. It could be cameras in your home. It goes for employment applications. There's so many things that actually pertain to this right now. First thing that we need to talk about is to get everyone on the same page to understand that at the end of the day, people really don't understand what is data. According to the Data Privacy Office, the Philippines, you guys, data privacy is the right of all citizens. Okay, it's a right. It's not like a privilege, anything like that. Data privacy is the right of anyone living in the Philippines or certain countries that believe in data privacy, and that's pretty much everyone now. All these places have data privacy or data protection laws in place, and pretty much what they're saying is the data privacy is the right of all citizens. So understand that it's the right to be left alone if they would like to be. Just like if you're no trespassing or no breaking and entering in a burglary of someone's home or business is illegal and common knowledge, someone can simply say, I don't want to come to your house, or I don't come to my house. And if you do, you have the right as the homeowner to call the police, to press charges, or even to kill an intruder, right? Legally, right? So now people are looking more protection when it comes to their basic personal, medical, and financial critical data. That's what they're doing. They're looking for more ways and more things and more ways to protect themselves from that. They're saying it's not like a choice. You can't just say, I didn't know as a business owner. When it comes down to the bottom line, your company needs to respect people's data. And a lot of people are asking, what is the data? What is that exactly? How does that data work? Especially in the Philippines, where a lot of things are still manual, right? The world has gone digital. Everything is online, of course, and all that great stuff. We all know that, right? So then what's happening right now is that people are taking data, name, phone number, address, sex, religion, your credit card numbers, your checking account numbers, your Gcash numbers, anything like that. And they're giving that information, or they're giving their email even, and they're giving these to these lists. They got all these mailing lists and things like that. And understand that anytime you're taking data for your company, the data is valuable and you need to respect that data. So if someone is giving you their name, their phone numbers, like at a salon, for example, you can't take that data and then sell it to another salon or give it to another distributor. A very simple thing that may affect your business is if you're a business like a salon and someone's writing the information down on a guest book, or you're getting their name, information, Facebook, and all that stuff on a card or a medical office, you don't want an employee to quit and then work for the competition and then take that data, which is called a data breach or data theft, right? And then give it to their new boss, which is your competitor. So now they can directly contact all your clients. And that's one thing that you need to watch out for. If someone is calling you and they're asking about your employees, and they're asking for their personal phone number, their address, you can't give it out. And you need to also be conscious of the things and programs that you use in your business so the data doesn't go out there. That means if you're a company and you're using Facebook groups to chat for your business, you might want to watch what you put in that chat. Because if you're putting personal data or personal information, you don't need a non-disclosure anymore. You don't need any of that. People have the right to their data. And if you are using cameras and things like that, that's also data. So keep that in mind. Understand that when it comes down to it, you guys, data is a big deal right now. And the reason is because everything is data. Number two, you guys, let's go through this. Number two, does this data situation affect my business? DPO, says to me, yes, it affects nearly every business on the planet. First of all, we're all global citizens and can also be at risk of data harvesting and misuse. As well as entrepreneurs, business owners, employers, salespeople, you gather information which needs to be protected and used for the agreed reason in which it was given to you. At the least, informing customers and staff of the data you collect is needed. So you need to tell people why you're taking their data, okay? Because remember, it's their right. So people may not realize you're taking their data, and you may be collecting data for your own personal reasons or business reasons, but you never thought about it. You never thought, okay, well, what am I doing with this data? Do I have to tell them I'm taking this data, or do you get the data? And so you need to make sure that you inform them of what you're doing. And we had to have conversations and non-disclosures with our staff. For example, sign into our guest sheet at our salon. And we need their name, their phone number, their Facebook. We asked if the service was great. We asked how much they paid. On there, it would actually have a clause saying we're taking this data to better serve you, to give you better service, to be able to contact you with whatever. And then you have the right right, of course, to fill the form out or not. So if some clients didn't want to do that, so they would just put an X, by their name. They would fill out some of it, but they wouldn't fill out everything. They just fill out that I was here, I paid this amount, things like that. They didn't want to give their names and numbers. And of course, our booking knew who they were, but they didn't want to put it on the sheet because everyone signed the sheet. That's one example. For example, now it's census time. That's massive amounts of data. And if you're in here in the Philippines, for example, the census is kind of new. But if you do any kind of census and not even government regulated, but you're just asking questions, you're asking your customers, you're out getting marketing census, things like that, you need to tell them what it's for, why you're using it, where it's going to be located. They need to know where their data is going, and they need to agree to that. Next one, you guys, a lot of folks are asking this, and I'm going to give it to you really clear. Why is it a new law? Technically, it's a right. It's not really a law, but it is a law put in legislation because it is a human right for people in the Philippines or around the world for that matter. Okay. It was made a law or a piece of legislation actually to enforce the right. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, so it's an opportunity to embolden marketing, customer confidence for companies who have been already taking steps to protect customer information, data, and who have not been mishandling the data. So companies out there that are taking information, they're not mishandling the information. It's a way for them to be emboldened and to have more customer confidence. Okay, customers eventually will only support companies who can express good service and data privacy standards, like customers who choose the safest banks or FDA approved products, BBB, that's Better Business Bureau, in the United States, member companies or organics. Now data privacy conscious companies will be the new standard. You see all the hacks, you see all the, when someone sends you a virus on your phone, for example, they can't send it to you if they don't know your email. If they don't know your social media handle, they can't affect, it doesn't affect you. So they have to know your data in order to even send you a virus. They don't just randomly go to people. They somehow got your data. All of you, if you're in the United States, you guys have all gotten some random marketing piece either online, or they've called your phone number, or they've sent you mail to your home, or they even visited you and knocked on your door, and you're asking, how did you get my data? How do you know where I live? How do you know that that I'm single, or that I'm married, or that I'm Christian? Or how do you know that? And then typically they're supposed to say, you're getting this marketing information of this situation because formerly you clicked this, that, or the other. If they don't, they have no right to have your data. It's your data, and that's a big deal. So they've made it a law because in the Philippines, people are really taking data for granted. And there's been a lot of issues, mainly with celebrities, mainly with companies being hacked and things like that. And of course, as you all know from the past, there's a couple of fabulous, globally known Filipino hackers out there. So they're really, really pushing to make sure that people do not take that lightly. Data is a big deal. It affects all of us, and they made it a law because they wanted folks to respect it. They wanted folks to understand that this is not about you anymore. It's not about just, good faith anymore. It's not about that. It's about the fact that we want to protect people's rights. So keep that in mind, you guys. The next thing I want to talk about, you guys, is a lot of you are asking me and asking our company, is it just in the Philippines or what? And the truth of it is, no. Data privacy is a global issue right now, one of the biggest global issues in the world right now. And because of that, everyone's affected. If you are doing business abroad to the United States or England or wherever, and you're in the Philippines, you need to abide by the laws of that country as well as the Philippines laws. So you need to have an understanding of those laws before you do business. And they're not a big deal. If you're doing standard things, it's okay. You're not going to be, stressed out or anything like that. But understand that it is something that you need to consider when you're doing business. So it's away from the West, actually. Like data privacy came from the West, the United States and Europe, just as information age wave came from the West. And the world is now interconnected, digital and a global marketing place, right? So data privacy itself has become around. It's been around since the workable prototype of the internet was created by ARPANET in the 1960s, originally funded by the U.S. Department of Defense as a way to gather intel and to communicate globally with multiple assets. The legislation applies to every citizen and nearly every country. For example, a decade ago in the U.S., it was worked, if you worked at a call center doing sales and debt collection and you would call out of state, you had to know that and abide by the state that you're calling's harassment and solicitation laws. Today, companies which do business globally are required to comply with those countries' data privacy laws as well. Now, what's happened is the data privacy has actually leaked into the regular business because people just didn't respect it. Now, what's happening is that when it comes down to it now everything's digital. So now it's even easier to steal from someone. It's easier to get someone's data, for example. Whereas before I had to break into your office and steal your sheets, right? Or I had to break into the bank and steal the money, or I had to break into your home and steal your diamonds and your jewels, right? Now what happens is that now I can break into your phone. I can break into your computers at your office. I can hack where you're at the hospital. I can do things like that. And maybe I'm not hacking it for a specific reason. I get it. I might be calling with your information and pretending like I'm your credit card company, pretending like I'm your doctor and things like that. So it doesn't just pertain to the Philippines. If you're in the Philippines and you're doing business abroad, it pertains to you and where you're doing business. If you're abroad and you're doing business in the Philippines, share this video, like this video, and get my ebook because you need to know the things that apply here. The next big question that I get you guys from all of you out there is asking, now that you know more about it, you know there's data privacy officers and things like that, you're asking, do I need a data privacy officer? And the truth is that yes and no. The first thing about data privacy is that when it comes down to it, it's a position, it's a new career, right? So after you've talked to a business development company like my company, you've talked to us, we're helping you get modern, we're helping you get up to date, you're getting digital, then you have some great advice. Well, then we can advise you on things that you may or may not be doing that makes you required to have a data privacy officer. A data privacy officer then, if they have a DPO, if you have a DPO, data privacy officer, or there's a law firm with a DPO or a consulting firm with a DPO that you can retain someone like me to go through and assess your business initially, right? So we figure out what liabilities, what issues you may have. Simple innovations such as a limited employment applications, privacy statements on your websites, emails, and video cameras, just to name a few. Additionally, the updating or inter-company data, sharing websites, and customer information can be simple things to initiate immediately. It all starts with a consultation though, and then usually an upper level management one-on-one ebook tutorial, seminar, or summit where the DPO consultant can discuss the topic and how it may affect the business. So yes and no, you will need or do need a data privacy officer. It depends on the situation that you have in your company. All companies are not created equal. You guys all know that. So you have to really assess your business. But I will tell you, as I said to you before, every company is required to have a data privacy awareness. No doubt about it. You're required to have that. But right now, what happens is initially, you don't necessarily need a DPO right now. They haven't implemented it so much, required all the companies to do it yet, because they know in the Philippines, there are not enough data privacy officers in the country yet. The whole world, I think, is 150,000 data privacy officers short. So if you're out there and you want a new career or a new leverage, if you're a lawyer or a consultant, you want to take one of these data privacy commission seminars and courses and get certified and accredited. They have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 like that. But anyway, what happens is you get an initial consultation, or at least you get an ebook like this. You get my ebook. It's only $5, but it tells you about all this stuff. And then from that, you can tell whether you need to have one or not. If you're taking, like I said before, 1,000 data, then you need to have one. If you have a certain number of employees, you need to have one. If you have a certain number of branches, you need to have one. And if you're not a small restaurant, a small grocery store, maybe a very small salon, sole proprietor type ship business, then you pretty much need to have something, pretty much. And it doesn't happen like now. It could be to where you don't have a lot of data, but then over the next year, you do, you grow. That's your goal in business. But if you're taking the data, then you need to have a data privacy officer, but you cannot have to employ one on staff. You can actually consult with a company like ours to give you the insights and some insights on what you need to have for data, whether that's about your resume, your applications, your notes to your people that are in your business saying, I'm taking this data for this and that or whatever. You can have a consultant or a law firm, or you retain them to be your data privacy officer or to go through these things with you, help you create the forms you need, the check things you need. Even if you don't have to have a DPO, every business is going to have to go and get an ebook like this or go to some seminar and see how you qualify or what you need to do. So keep this in mind. And if you do have data, respect the data. Don't just take the data and not respect the customer's privacy, the customer's names. Don't do that. Just be conscious of data privacy and know that it is a human right in the Philippines, you guys. It is not a privilege. So if you ruin someone's data, if you mishandle someone's data, you're actually ruining and mishandling their rights. No different than human rights. So just keep that in mind. So another one you guys have been asking a lot about, you guys. If you have cameras in your business, it's a touchy subject. You can go either way, but technically you need to tell people there's cameras. You need to tell people that when they walk into your business, there's a camera. You need to tell your employees there's camera. I'm sure they already know, but you need to have it. It can be very simple as having the signs there or things like that, but they need to be informed of it. It's very common in the Philippines to have cameras everywhere, even the smallest businesses, the homes, even in public areas, especially in the States, in public areas such as neighborhoods or barangays, the street light crossings and high traffic areas, there's cameras. In the business, you must have a privacy notice of some kind, which starts with a conversation as to why you have the cameras, how the images are viewed, used, stored, and disposed of. Ultimately, businesses have the right also and a responsibility to monitor and conduct oversight. The customer's employees have first right of refusal, but they must be made aware. So you need to tell these people, whoever they are, employees included, that you have these cameras, that you're filming them, that you're for their safety, for their awareness. You need to make sure that when it comes down to it, you've told them. So they can't say to you, oh my God, I didn't know, or no one told me. I didn't know you were filming. And of course, a lot of people think of it as, you've got the big brother watching you, right? But the truth of it is, cameras work in multiple ways. Some business owners like myself, when I had my shops, we literally watched the cameras to see what's going on because we're remote. I'm a digital nomad. I'm a minimalist CEO. So if I have a physical business, I live from my laptop. So I'm actually watching, maybe even communicating with real time with people like, okay, so-and-so's on the way. And I can see the door on my camera. Okay, so-and-so's parking their car outside. She's coming in now. Can you do this? We communicate. It was a common thing. But now when you walk into the business or maybe even buy the camera, depends on how big your company is, you need to say, like in America, a very common one, hello, you're on candid camera. It says it, you're being recorded. This area is being recorded. So, and in some cases like mine, I have video, I also have audio recording. So you need to say I'm recording video and audio. We're doing this for your safety so we can better serve you more, and whatever the clause might be, you can get more information in my ebook. Of course, you guys, you can also consult with us. You can email me at ask@kareemantonio.com. You can get information about that. If you have cameras in your business, remember, it is the right of the consumer. So, of course, the cameras are a good thing in the sense that someone breaks in or robs or does something, you have a video evidence, you have a video to find who the person was. The other thing is that it does help in security, but it also helps in safety. It helps in service. You may use cameras as a manager or an owner because you want to make sure the service is correct. People are wearing their mask or they're cleaning their hands, and that's how you do it. That's how you watch. You may also be watching the employees if they're stealing, if they're taking things, if they're not talking to the customers properly or whatever it might be. That's also the right. And of course, all you have to do is let them know. The next thing, you guys, I want to get into is a lot of folks are asking, I've mentioned a few ways already, but a lot of folks are asking, how can I lower my data risk? DPO, mainly what they told me was simply limit the data you request. Many of the companies which I have come in contact with or manage use outdated data gathering means and paper-based storage techniques. For example, in today's equal opportunity employer culture, there's no need to ask 50% of the questions that are asked on many applications. Questions such as marital status, sex, religion, health, and even age are outdated and not needed in most of today's job markets. So why do companies still ask that? It's the gathering of sometimes discriminatory, unneeded, and now private data. Also, having a paper disposal, shredding, or purging process time and central location is a great thing, to have in place. So you can really say, okay, well, we get rid of our data this way. We get rid of our data at this time. People hate to be asked a ton of questions. They just want to go online, fill out, click, 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 and be done. Right? But of course, down the road, you can ask for all the things you need to ask for. If you're looking for people to apply for a home loan, there is no reason for you to have the application with all the data on the initial online form or circulation sheet. You might want to qualify people. Do you have a home loan? Do you need a home loan? Do you have cash? Do you not have things like that? But to ask them, please put in your checking account, please put in your social security number, please put in this, please put in that online before you even met this person, that may be a risk to you. But if you need to have that stuff, then by all means, grab it, because we do that. But you might want to make sure that your website is secure with an SSL layer, right? You may want to make sure that only certain people in your company can access that data, because if they have the name, the number, the social security number, and a checking account, you can go buy a car. You can get a hotel room in that person's name. You can get a fake ID, because sometimes you even have their signatures scanned on the data, on the form. When it comes down to it, you really, really want to make sure that less is more. The less you can ask, the less you need to find out about people, the better it is for you. And I mentioned this earlier, you guys. I told you, you are asking, is this good or bad for my business? Okay. In my opinion, it is great for your business. The law has been in full effect for a few years now. Okay. I think 2012, I told you about, technically since 2012, I think, but in the Philippines, by the way, it's been active longer around the world. But the value of privacy has always been valued by customers, consumers, and citizens at large. Companies who have initiated and maintained great service, business, and quality standards are hailed by consumers and typically more profitable. An ISO certification, for example, should be a base standard, not the goal. So just as now, data protection legislation is the low bar and should be the base. Companies who adopt the customer privacy and security protocols early not only set the standard for today's data privacy, they also have a huge marketing advantage over their competitors who did not. Millions of consumers look for privacy logos, clauses, and ratings before they enter their data in forms, click the links, pay online, or support physicians, purchase hardware, software, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Yes, it's good for your business. Of course it's good for your business. It's going to help you in the long run because you're going to be one of the few that are ahead of the game. That's what's going to happen to it. You're going to be ahead of the game. All the other folks are trying to go through and figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to do it, and who's the one that needs to know this and who's the one that needs to know that. As things go on, as time goes on, every company is going to want to have the same sort of thing. So yes, you need to be able to have this for your business because the future is going there, because really you want to be able to market online. You want to be able to profit online. You want to be able to bill online. So you want to get level up and keep data privacy in your first of your mind. So the last thing you guys have been asking me here is cyber crime, cyber security, data breach, What is all that? What's the difference? They're all related, first of all. Since they can all be done online, technically, in simple terms, cyber typically relates citizen to citizen type things, right? Such as posting or demeaning video online or stealing someone else's identity, right? While data usually are taken by companies, entities, institutions, and governments businesses, things like that, often unknowingly by the data subject or the individual. That's you, the consumer, right? For example, you guys, many companies use that data to save time in processing, to conduct marketing studies, and to enhance their service standards, such as website cookies, or while others, they may use it for discriminatory practices. They may discriminate, use them for those reasons, like hiring practices, or sold the data, such as a hospital or a rogue physician or clerk selling patient data to drug companies, while others simply would throw paperwork or records in the trash, right? Cybercrime, of course, someone takes your identity, they hack your Facebook, they do something like that. That's what cybercrime is. So you want to make sure that you are protected against cyber crimes. The cybersecurity, though, pertains to the company. This company needs to have a cybersecurity plan or idea or concept in mind so that they can articulate to the consumers, to their customers and their employees, this is what we do to make sure you're secure. For example, our website has secure socket layer as an SSL. Our site is secure. That's them being proactive about cybersecurity. They also then go into a data breach. Data breach means someone from outside went in, breach, right? They breached the wall, they broke in, right? And they somehow breached the company, whether it's illegal, whether it's security, or whether it's an employee disgruntled or anything like that. They breached it, and then typically that means they took it and they're going to do something with it. So that means typically you were hacked. If you're a person that has social media and things like that, don't share your passwords. Don't share your phones, because I'll tell you this, that's your data. Everything is there. It's not just about Facebook anymore. That is your identity. You guys know recently there was a virus or something going around where they cloned your Facebook page. They would like all of your friends. They would add your friends, and they would go through and say, I'm stranded, I'm kidnapped, send me money. And they would send money, Western Union, Gcash, whatever that they were requesting based on the country you were from. But it's a real thing. And so what usually happens when they do that, somehow they've gotten your data. So you guys go ahead right now, go to Google Play in the App Store and get my book, It's the Law. And that book is an ebook. You can download it anywhere in the world. The ebook is just $5, you guys. And the ebook then goes through and it tells you all about the things you need to know about data privacy and the things you need to understand about data privacy. This book, you guys, I really went through and I had a conversation with the data privacy officer. I put this together, and then it just tells you what you need to know. And the good thing about having the book is if anything ever does happen to you and your small business, at least you can say to them, I have an awareness, I have an ebook, I read this. You can also, once you get the ebook and you guys learn more about data privacy and how it relates to your business in the Philippines, then you can also then see, do you need to go further and take another course or another seminar or get a consultancy for your business? We help you with all of that stuff as well. So we can help you with consulting. We can help you with checking your company, checking your websites and things like that, about clauses and all these things. We can go in and do an assessment for you. So just keep that in mind. The book is only $5, but it gives you something to have so that if you ever do have an issue, you can at least say, no, I have an awareness, I understand. If anything does happen, at least you show that you put an effort forward and you do care about your employees and your company and your staff and your clients and your customers. Hey, you guys, again, you were live on the set with the Minimalist CEO, Kareem Jackson. Again, thank you for being here. Remember, you guys, get the life you want. Go out there and grab the things you love in life. Live the life you dream about. Kareem Jackson again at KareemAntonio.com, where I help woke entrepreneurs to minimalize their cluttered lifestyles, help them to outsource their business processes to make more profit, more money, and live the freedom, the life, the dream life that they've always wanted to live. That's what I do. And if you guys are here, I thank you. Love this, like this, share this, and I will see you next time. Thank you for being here again with me live on the set, you guys. Love you. I'll see you next time.